Hi, fantasy book lovers, TGIF. This is Thank Gods It's Fantasy Podcast. We are Kayla, Veronica, and Bryanna, three best friends who love talking about all things books, from the romance, the conflict, and of course, morally gray men. Every 2 weeks, we will be getting together to talk about our theories, opinions, and reviews of our current read. Please read along, join in, and be one of our book besties too. Hi everyone, welcome to our show. Thanks for joining us. In this episode, we'll be talking about the first half of the Songbird and the Heart of Stone, written by Carissa Broadbent. This is the third book of the Crowns of Nyaxia series. This book is the start of the second duology, which is incorporated in all of this. So ultimately what this whole book is about is Mische journeys to the underworld, and she's tasked by Atraxas to bring back Olaris, who is Nyaxia's husband, from the dead, only then to kill him to prevent a war. And I think that's really like the big thing.
That is the theme for sure.
And we only read the first half, so, and of course it ended when I wanted to know more.
Literally the whole time I felt kind of lost.
Yes.
Because it's really hard for me to picture, I think, a lot of it. So for me, it's a lot of like haziness in my brain. And I felt like we finally got to a spot where I was like, oh, we're ramping up.
Yes.
I'm finally getting the hang of this. Things are getting interesting, and shit, now we're done.
Because like everything was described well.
Yes.
But not easy to just like make up a picture in your head.
It was almost too elaborate. Like
yes. I was like a red river blood sky
that's dripping on bone and fogginess.
All of the walls were bleeding, and she's like, it's so beautiful. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know what I'm picturing in my head, but I don't know that it's beautiful with the dripping wall bloods walls. I don't know.
Well,
she did.
Just even like I couldn't even picture like all of the, I mean, not dead people, but essentially dead people
wraiths,
everywhere.
yeah.
I was just like, I'm having a harder time with this one. And you're right. It's not like it wasn't described well. I just was like, cannot compute. And like,
well, they change it every
like too
level,
abstract,
right?
It's like too abstract. Like, yeah, they basically got like more dead ish the farther that they went. You know, I kind of pictured them just getting more and more translucent.
yeah.
But
yeah, no, I really struggled.
it was hard.
Yeah. No.
I even struggled with picturing him.
Yes. I have no picture of him in my mind.
I have no picture with like his eye and the scar, but yet it's an eye that's not an eye, that's always glowing, and then
his scars are glowing and they're purple, and I'm like, I just can't see this. I need to probably find a picture.
Agreed.
But I'm scared
I need to look. I know.
I'm scared.
No,
that I'm gonna ruin
because
something.
I've always been able to picture Mische very clearly in my mind of what I think she looks like. I think we looked up pictures of her last time, and that was exactly like how I pictured her.
Yeah, no, he's a wild card.
But him, I'm like, I have no idea. And what I am picturing is not like good.
See, and that's where I'm at
like it's
too.
not
Cause
sexy.
No, because she has just, I mean, obviously Misha's attracted to him. Obviously.
But I mean, like, is she?
But she wasn't, I feel like, initially so much.
She
like,
talks about him being beautiful, even in the beginning. Like, he's blatantly beautiful, but he has all these physical features that are very distracting.
Yes.
Like, I can't picture him.
I definitely need to look that up, because
What? I'm gonna go do it.
I'm gonna do it, she said.
I'm gonna do it. I feel like we know, like, big-ish stuff.
But she thinks Bloody Walls is beautiful, so maybe...
I was going to say, that's the thing. She finds beauty in things people don't traditionally find beautiful.
Correct.
So...
Which is nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. Honestly, I love that about her. I think it's a very, like, quirky, cute little thing that she does. And I think it's going to be why her and him obviously have a great relationship, because she is going to find beauty in all of those things. But yeah, I can't picture him.
Oh.
Okay, what does he look like?
Is it attractive?
Maybe I don't want to know?
No, I mean, Mische still looks exactly like hold on.
Oh.
But he doesn't look as scarred as I'm picturing.
Yeah, I imagine like full on like.
Yeah, same.
But I couldn't
like
imagine
his whole
this.
skin being.
Yes, I couldn't picture this part of him, but all I could see were in my mind were like the scars, and because she just kept describing like how much it took. Oh, yeah.
I mean, these are like Zayden-esque scars, like not.
And I don't.
What
feel
I
like
was picturing.
That's what it is based off how she described
it's like
it.
God, how do I glare?
Yeah, they're making it seem like it's like a subtle veining, and I don't feel like that's
so pretty.
That is not how I picture her. The first one is how I picture her, 100%.
I know, but every rendition of her is just beautiful.
I know. But like, I feel like that's very talked about of like her being. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. It's literally it looks like branches, like smoke.
Okay, then
branches.
I mean that's more attractive to me because it almost just
out.
Looks like a tattoo, like the way everyone's drawing it.
Yeah, but I'm curious how he got his scars. Did they talk about that? Did I miss that?
I don't think so. I don't think they have. Because I think it has something to do with either his banishment or like whatever he's doing down there, I think is scarring him similarly to how she's being scarred.
Or do you think the scars are similar, like a similar map of Mothrin?
They are root-like.
So maybe like this is the top part that's the, on the surface, and then as they go down
to the underworld.
She's
gonna get to the underworld?
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing. I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm not good at it.
He makes so many references to not being able to go as far anymore. Like, I do feel like there's some weird connection, obviously, between whatever's going on with his body and there. I could very much see that.
I just think it's something similar to her. Like, I feel like
as much as he uses the magic, it also scars his body?
Not necessarily that, but when he's healing the underworld, when he's going down and healing the gates and things like that, it really takes a lot out of him. So I'm wondering if it's also leaving a mark on him as he's trying to heal things down there. He just feels like he's like a kindred spirit with her. Like they're going through similar things.
Do you find that this is somewhat similar to like a Hades and Persephone kind of situation where he's like Lord of the underworld, not technically the Lord, but he's the keeper of it, right? And then here she is, this spirit that's been trapped,
and has and I feel like a lot of renditions is like Persephone's gone through like something really traumatic. Like, so yeah, I agree. I feel like it has had that vibe for me, not overwhelmingly so, where I'm like, oh, this is exactly what it is, but it does have a lot of commonalities.
That's a good point, because a lot of them she's gone through some kind of trauma, but she's still outwardly happy, sweet,
finds the
kind,
beauty in everything. Very yes,
she's still trying to keep her humanity despite being here, and she's brought down there against her will. And
I mean, I'm pretty excited to see her lean into her vampire side. I'm not gonna lie. Like
the Shadowborn side.
I think that I'm guessing that was the first time that anyone had ever said to her, "You are Shadowborn," because she was very taken back by that. But I don't know why. Until that moment, I almost forgot it up until this point. Like, I didn't forget it because I knew about her turning, who turned her. Obviously, that's like a big part of this whole book. But the power aspect of it, of like, oh yeah, she should have significant power from the Shadowborn side, because you're just so focused on her power from Atraxis. So, I mean, I'm ready for her to step into that a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially because I don't think she knows how powerful she is, because there's that one part where she's like, phew, thanks for helping me. He's like, it was all you.
Yeah.
And I don't think she like got what that meant.
No. She's like, oh, he's being nice. That's so funny.
Always in denial, these ones, I swear.
I know. But he flat out told her, like, listen, my brother was very powerful, and I can feel that you are very powerful. I'm also ready to see him completely unleashed because...
Well, now that he's got his mark.
I know. Okay, wow. We're gonna jump wherever we want on this one. I love it. So Elias is like, finally. So him and the sister must have had a plan for her to kill her dad.
100%.
And then he would try to kill Asar.
But do you think that they had that plan all along, or did that plan come along after Asar took Mische to go do whatever the task was?
I think they had that plan all along for when Elias was going to be going with him. I think they saw that as like their opportunity. Like, yes, at some point it was going to be them. I also feel like the Shadowborn are different in the fact that they have multiple heirs because they were all heir apparents, and he became like an acknowledged heir apparent once his brother died. And then obviously it chose him and not his sister, which if Elias was prepared to kill him, she obviously knew it wasn't going to her and that it was going to go to Asar. So I think that's interesting also. She was prepared for it to not be her, or had a backup plan if it wasn't.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I'm very curious to see. God, I really just want to know what happens at this point. It really was just getting good. Fuck, guys.
It really was. Like,
Yeah.
I like that last, I want to say 7%, whatever, 43% to 50%. I was like, oh, like this is going by fast now, because most
It
books,
was dragging.
like, the world building is hard, and I definitely felt that this time. And finally it got good, and then I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta stop. So.
Yeah. I was telling Veronica this earlier. I struggled a little bit just because I just didn't feel really a connection to any of these characters, which is funny because I loved Mische in the previous, and I still liked her, but it wasn't like that you're rooting for them, you have hope for them, whatever. It was just kind of reading. Like, I just didn't feel any connection, and I definitely, even now, maybe slightly more feel a connection with him in the last few percent.
Yeah.
But that has been a slow build, because I did not feel that with Rain. With Rain, I was immediately like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. He's been more of a slow build, which in general, I feel like he has been and like, I don't feel like they could have done that differently with her past. Like, it's got to be a little bit of a
true.
slow, more natural build up. I feel like it was a harder one to get into.
Okay, so who do you guys think was easier to like? I don't necessarily mean like connect with, but like for me, the funnest one for me is it Lucy? I like the little dog thing. I thought
Oh my god, I love
I know.
love
Little Lucy. I picture her looking like the dog on The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Same.
With the little tentacles. She has little tentacles.
I know, but I like her because, like, in my mind, yes, I know that they described her as fox-like, but the body of a wolf, but then the legs are super lean like a deer. So to me, it's like a greyhound body, because it has super long legs and, like, skinny legs. But that part's, like, translucent almost, but then it changes colors between the 3 black, blue, and the green, I think. So it's almost like peacocky colors on her body.
See, I didn't picture, I guess I didn't grab onto that. I grabbed onto the skull face.
Yes, with a skull face.
Dog-like general appearance, like a wolf. Like, at first I pictured her like a wolf, and then as they described her more, I think it got a little wild up here. But I really do kind of just picture her like The Nightmare Before Christmas, because with like I kind of picture her floating, even though I know she's not really floating. And then they talk about her tendrils or whatever, which is probably her just sending
it's like
out
the smoke things.
smoke, shadow the same way as him. But yeah, I mean, you know us. We're a sucker for a sidekick. We love a cute little bitey sidekick.
And I just love how bossy It is. She is. And then I love how Mische responds to her. I think that's what makes it better. She's just like, yeah. Like, she just does not give a fuck that this dog's trying to be intimidating half the time. And she's like, yeah, you're cute.
I know, because, like, in my mind, I don't know if everyone feels like this. I'm not like a dog lover. Like, there are some people who see a dog and want to touch it, like David. He sees a dog anywhere and he's like, can I touch your animal?
Yes.
Anyway, but I'm like, oh, that's a very cute dog, or oh, like, whatever. But she was like, I will make this dog love me, and I just feel like I have this connection with all animals. It's kind of like with babies, you know, you're like, they cry with everybody else. I'm like, but no, when I hold them, I know they're going to love me. But it doesn't happen that way. But in my mind, I think of it like that. I totally feel like that. What's what Mische was doing also.
Yeah.
With all the things.
Well, and she gets protective with her at the end, because when Elias, like, backhands her or whatever at the end of this part, Lucy doesn't take it well. Like, she gets super defensive of her. So she's feeling the love between her owner and
100%. 100%.
Okay, so let's kind of, like, just, like, real fast. So Mische had been by herself for a couple of months, I think. And then she's captured by Egret. I don't know how to say her name. The sister. Malek's sister.
Love it.
And I think she wanted to kill her because obviously Mische had killed Malek. And she said, no, I'm going to save you for my dad as a gift, basically, to win his favor. Because, you know, now that the heir is dead, perhaps it could be me. I don't know. I don't know how that all works. But then they take her to the party. But before that, there's this dungeon, and she's severely injured from, like, the whole struggle before getting captured. And then someone tries to save her. Did you guys know it was him, that it was Asar who tried to, like, heal her?
I mean, obviously we hadn't been introduced to him yet, but I assumed that it would be whatever the main character. As soon as he, like, came in the ballroom, I was like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but I was just like, wow. What made him go to her first, though?
I don't know if he just heard that they had snatched a Dawn drinker or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm curious, because, okay, so when she
or
was
he's
in the
drawn
dungeon,
to her.
That's what I was thinking. I feel like he was drawn to her because I feel like they have, like, this connection that they keep talking about. But he said, or they had mentioned that while she was down there and she was struggling against him, like, in her, whatever, weakened state, and he was like, just hold still, and then he, like, pulled her sleeve up, and she was, like, trying to, like, hide it. But then I think that's when he probably saw her tattoo, and then that's when he, like, okay, well, let me just heal you a little bit, and then I'll save you, like, outwardly later on. So that's how I kind of pictured that going on.
Maybe he wanted to save the person who had killed his brother, because he's like, good on you, my brother's a dick.
Maybe, yeah, because he was an asshole.
I do think that a lot of it was their connection. I don't think that their connection is solely from being familial or whatever, like sharing the same bloodline with someone who turned. It feels very mate-like to me, even though they haven't really done the mate-ish thing, but they just have this weird innate thing that she feels strongly with him, and I feel like their mental connection, their physical connection, even the anchor, everything is, like, heightened for the two of them. And I feel like there's an actual underlying reason for it.
I agree, because typically I don't feel that way. I'm like, oh, you know, whatever. It's this and this and this.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that in this story. Who knows? We could be wrong. You never know.
Could be. Okay. Got a lot of book left, you know.
So let's talk about Asar, because he shows up at the party, right? Like, and everyone is, like, kind of mad at him. I don't know if that's the word, but they're kind of like
afraid of him
because he's the Wraith Warden, but also he's been banished to Morthrin for however many years. I think like 150 years he's been down there, like, managing and doing whatever he does down there. And everyone just knows it as a prison. They don't really know what Morthrin is. But I feel like they're mad at him because they weren't expecting him to become heir, but since he's the second born, and a bastard, that like now they just kind of have to accept it. And I think that's one of the main reasons why, I mean, I think Egret didn't like him anyway, because again, he's a bastard, but I don't know.
I think she just wants power is a lot of her whole thing.
Well, all the
they
vampires
all
just
hate
want the
their
power.
families and murder their families. And
can we talk about their dad? Yes, but also just losing his goddamn mind.
Well, like, he's crazy because, right, wasn't he like, is it because he's old, they said, or I can't remember what they said about him.
He's the oldest of all of.
That's right, because they said that his power dwarfs like even that of Vincent and Neculi. I remember them saying that. That's true.
Because he's older than Neculi. Like, he would have been older than Neculi. Like, he's very, very, very old.
But then the way that they get him back is by giving him blood. Was that it? Like, to get his mind back? I could have sworn there was something in the beginning where, like, he starts to lose it a little bit. And then I think his wife, like, does something to help bring him back.
I know they did something, but I can't remember what it is now.
I can't either.
I just remember when they were talking about how his power is just like like that also is out of control because his mind's out of control, and that was wild.
Yeah, I didn't realize how strong Shadowborn powers could be until they had mentioned that you could swear an oath to them and it actually like holds because
forever,
like until they,
it's like binding until they release you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were that strong. I mean, I realized that Shadowborns could make you, like, if they say pick up that chair, you can go pick it up.
Like do things.
But I didn't realize it was like a compulsion almost, kind of like Vampire Diaries when they're like, forget you ever saw this. And
yes. Well, and the fact that, like, he could do it to that entire room without even blinking.
Yeah. Didn't even...
Like, they made it sound like he could do it to, like, every subject in his kingdom.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in a blink. Which, so then it's like, how the fuck did she kill him?
Well, that's the thing. I feel like she was trying to, like, weasel her way in, essentially, to have an opportunity to kill him. Like, I feel like it would have to be, like, so unexpected to be able to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Because otherwise, I feel like he'd overpower anyone.
Does his level of power transfer, or is it just his level of power was aided by his age and his air mark?
In my mind, I think it's because of his age that he became so powerful, right? Because I think it's still like a learned thing.
Yeah.
Because they were saying that Malik, whatever, was truly powerful, but he just didn't practice it. He just didn't really practice the craft.
Also, he was really old, way older than they like kind of let on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was. Do you think obviously we get that whole like background story about Mische when she's younger and how she came to be and all of that. We're getting there. And it kind of the last flashback we saw was her not saving the vampire, because I was under the impression that vampire died that was being hung upside down by like her people or whatever, and she went up and cut him down. But then she said as soon as she cut him down, that changed her life. And then nothing was ever the same.
Didn't he get put in the dungeon?
But then when she came back from being with Atraxis, he was like hung upside down outside in the sun and hit an arrow through his chest. So I thought that meant he died. But then when she said she cut him down and everything changed, I was like, wait, was he not really dead? And does he go on like a killing spree?
Was that Malik?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if this was Malik that she was actually visiting.
Maybe.
And that's why he, like, targeted her and changed her.
I mean, I think that he's just an asshole, and he was just like, I'm going to get everybody out here. I don't think he had, like, good intentions. I'm going to turn you so you can be like me.
No, I just wasn't sure if...
I was going to say, I interpreted it that that vampire had died. And that what had changed was the fact she let him down, like she showed remorse, and I thought that meant she was then treated differently by Atraxis and everyone else.
That's kind of my two directions. I wasn't sure which way we were going with it.
See, and that's how I interpreted it, but it could very well also be he wasn't dead. And
no, that makes
changed...
sense though when you say it like that.
Yeah, like I feel like it could be either way. It was not clear.
Do you think that Malik killed her sister and friend, or do you think she killed her sister and friend?
Honestly, I've gone back and forth on that as well.
I think
Veronica has not been.
Mind blown right now.
I think she did.
I think she did now that you say that, because I'm just like, what happened? But that makes sense.
I think in her turning, either right when she turned or in the middle of her going in and out of her sickness, I think she killed them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you might be right. Oh, so sad.
Yeah, I have thought that as
Dang
well.
it.
That's why she's having so many flashbacks of them, like with their throats
And
ripped out.
why she is suppressing her vampire side and her like all of that. Like,
yeah, if that's your first memory is you waking up and killing your best friend / kind of had a crush on and loved him / your sister.
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd kind of hate what you'd become.
Can we talk about Atroxus? Because
Can we talk about the fact she was 16?
she was fucking 16 when she
It's
got
really
married.
bothering me.
Well,
Guys.
I know.
I have not liked him the whole time.
It's
I feel
really
like.
bothering me that her bridal, like her ceremony, and when she like gave her body over is when she's 16.
Not even that, but she said it was like pathetic. She basically said, "Oh, that's what we do." This is what no, it
because
wasn't.
it was man satisfied only.
Yes.
Well, both times, because the first, like when
Well,
she
all
actually
the
gave her
times.
body to an actual person, I'm guessing it was to Eamon.
No,
Right.
she
Who
never
was it?
did. She thought about kissing him and she didn't enter because her sister made her feel so bad about it because she was like, "You're going to be a bride of Atroxus." First time she ever gave her body to someone was Atroxus.
But then who was the second person?
I was gonna say because there was.
I don't think there was.
I thought there was.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Let me see.
Because I thought when she was with having her little fever dream with Asar, it was like, oh, this is how you're supposed to actually feel.
Yes, and she did have that, but I thought after she turned vampire, there was another one or something.
Probably. I mean, I would hope so.
Honestly,
But she still saw herself as his bride, though.
Yes.
yeah, but oh my goodness, yeah, I
don't love that Carissa Broadbent made her 16 for that.
But also, can we just? I think
Not to, like,
Atroxus
put
is
a
just a bad
author-
dude because
Yes, he's a bad dude, but like there
also
are
picked
things
her
you
as
don't
a
have to do.
child, knowing that that's the route that it was gonna go.
Picked her
which
when
is
she was 8.
also, that's more fucked up to me. Like, yes, 16, not great. He picked her when she was 8.
Yeah.
Like, ew. What the
And only
fuck?
because he was like, there's something pure and curious about you. I can feel
Exactly.
fate
That's
on
fucked
you.
up.
But not even that. Okay, hold on. Yes, 16-year-old and ancient god, disgusting. However, if you go back in history, again,
Yes.
11-year-olds were brides to
I know.
volcanoes and they would
just-
sacrifice them. Yes, it's gross and
I just
icky.
don't like it being. I just don't feel like it's necessary to write it into stories anymore. It can be a part of history, but I don't think it's a thing that needs to be
Well,
like,
I mean, yeah.
perpetuated and talked about.
Correct. We don't need to. But yes, okay. So she,
Like, I don't
That
think
is a
it's
norm.
idolized in any way, shape, or form. But
but it's just wild to me, like how excited she was to like give her body and her soul to
She'd been
this
groomed
god.
since she was
She'd
8.
been groomed. That's the part that I'm
Yes.
getting at. Like, her
Yes.
sister was like, "Oh no!" Like, yes, everyone else can like
And everyone else catered to it. Like, it wasn't just
she
oh,
was
he's
groomed by
good.
every person
Everyone.
around her.
everyone. She got to pick what food she wanted to eat before everyone else did. She got to like live in the best rooms. She got to do whatever. She was treated like the princess, the bride of Atroxus, because she was. But I'm just like, wow.
It's so nasty when you really think about it.
Like
Yes,
It
it was bothering me the
definitely-
whole time.
it
Like,
definitely had cult vibes to me.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Totally. Well, and I'm sure this is how all the gods are.
Yes.
It's not just him.
But the
No,
fact that he
I'm
would
sure.
visit her like 4 or
Every
5
few
times
months.
a year,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what do you guys do? What do you do with a? I don't know.
Well, she said he just like hung out with her all day. I mean, obviously she still had sex with him throughout that time, but it made it seem like they just kind of like hung out, which is also weird.
Yeah. Well, and I just can't get over. I mean, obviously she was groomed since she was 8. Like, her loyalty to him still now. I'm like, I cannot wait till you have the revelation. Like, she already has obviously had little snippets of something's wrong here. Like, we've gotten little glimpses of that. I cannot wait for her to be like, oh, this is fucked up. Fuck you.
I know,
I can't believe I'm still doing this to myself.
She's so loyal to him, right? She's just like,
Yes.
I've been praying to you and you abandoned me. But then she's like, I never doubted you. I'm like, motherfucker, he left you. He straight up, like, and he put burns on your skin every time you used his magic. I'm sure there's some way that, like, it couldn't, someone who is protected by a god or loved by a god or the wife of a god or whatever can, like, if he truly is still with her, that he could have prevented some of that.
Oh, and he loved the fact that it was burning her and that she was
I was
suffering
gonna say,
to
I think
continue.
it's punishment. Like,
It's
I think
gross.
it's
Like, he,
is.
like, smiled when he saw it. Like, he got satisfaction out of it. But then, knowing what the relationship actually is, think back to when Rain found her when the Moon Palace was being attacked. And she was sobbing and crying and was like, he left me. And this is her, in her eyes, like, her husband, basically. The person who she's devoted her entire life to, her loyalty, her whole heart and love.
Yep.
It makes it even more sad. Like, so
Yeah.
sad. And it's like that, you know, that situation where you're like, what's it called? When you're in love with your abuser.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely that, you know?
Yeah, he's gross. I don't love him. I don't like that.
And he's just using her. He doesn't want
Yes.
he wants nothing to do with her. He just was like, oh, I can actually see what's happening because I still have someone that's on the inside, basically, and I'll make her think
Yeah.
that
It's like,
I
because
am going to
knew-
forgive her.
Yeah, I knew it was fate, and maybe this is, I don't know. I don't like him. He's not
I also
my
don't get it.
favorite.
If there's rules to not being able to kill another god, like, how are you now going to do it? I mean, I know she's going to do it, is how they're getting around it, right?
Yep. Because
But-
it's like the loophole. Like, you can kill them in their weakened state, in his ungod state, technically, because he's not fully.
How?
Because women-
His fucking tooth! His tooth was that powerful.
But this is just his pure essence. A
His
lot
essence
of it.
is gonna be it's a lot of essence.
It is a lot of essence.
Not only that, now you've got fucking crazy ass Nyaxia that's gonna be after you for
Yeah.
the rest of your life.
But they talk about it, right? So she's like, she saw what happened to her husband and, like, his little pieces of his body and how they used it against, like, you know, her children used it against each other to gain power or whatever. And then another god went against her, Acacia, and did something for her children instead. So the Coriatus bond. And so maybe is that why she said I can't do it, because she needed a reason to start this war against the human nations?
Oh,
Like, is that why she didn't
like
want
that's her loophole.
Yeah. Like, she was trying to, like, make it a good enough excuse to do something.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how this goes down, because I don't know that I know exactly how that's gonna all go down.
And also, if Atraxis is with Mische, why is it so fucking hard for her to pull her power?
I know. He's doing that though. Like, I
He's
feel
giving
like he
her
very
the
much
tiniest
controls
amount.
that. Yeah.
Like, she said, she described one time where she's like, I had to reach down to, like, the very pits of my humanity, the last bits of it, and then just even, like,
Drag it up.
drag it up from wherever it
It
is.
sounds
pushing
horrible.
cart uphill through mud. It was so difficult. Just
While
see-
she's also burning herself to the bone. It's not
Yeah.
little burns anymore. They're
No.
super aggressive burns.
And they're, like, weeping, right? It's not like it's
No.
like so quickly healed like vampire
No.
healing. No, it's like
He was
human-
pulling off like skin.
It's
Yeah,
so
no, that was
gross.
disgusting. I can't get over that. That is still what she goes to when she is finding how easy it is to use her Shadowborn power.
I know.
Her she would still rather dredge and burn herself to try and get a tiniest little glimpse of this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Well, and she's gonna be good without even trying as soon as because
figures it out.
magic comes so easily
easy
to her.
Always. It's been
It's like
so
as easy
for
as breathing for her. So it's not gonna be hard.
No, and they said that when they compare the magics, when she was looking at Asar's magic, like his glyphs whenever they were in Mothrin, how everything was like basically similar in all of it. So she already knows how to do this stuff. She's read and she's practiced and she is an educated woman that she's going to just pick this up so fast.
Oh, you're right. I cannot wait, Kayla. Like, that is something, when she unleashes that, is going to be amazing.
Oh my
and
God.
you know it's going to be for him.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, honestly, it'll probably be in the next few chapters.
She'll probably save him.
Yeah. Well, now that he is...
Oh, it's thinking. I can see the little...
Yeah, the little spinny.
Do you think she's going to end up ruling the Shadowborn? Because technically she's of that line, and if something happens to Azar where he, like, dies and goes to the underworld and she has to go down there and save him then, but yet he's lost his air mark because he died.
She's
of that line.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Also
because,
pondered that.
Rainy Rain, you send her off on her own and she ends up
being
ruling the
queen.
Shadowborn.
With the one other air mark available. And then the three of them just
Here
rule
we
the
are.
whole... Yeah. I could very much see that.
And then fucking Septimus just
Because-
doing who
I
knows
know.
whatever the fuck he's doing, taking over some human kingdoms apparently.
Yeah, because already all the bastard-born princesses and princes have been killed off. And then otherwise it's just Ygritte and Asar, so
Yep.
obviously she's gonna die. So, but
Yeah, Misha's gonna fuck her up for sure.
oh, I love when Mische just goes all stabby.
I know. She...
Yeah, because they don't even
she's
talk
so
about that.
sweet
She's
otherwise.
she's also a very skilled fighter. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been
They talked
practicing
about
with
her-
Rain. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so then we find out that also Asar is a necromancer.
Oh, I keep forgetting about that.
And
Like, I know that obviously because that's what he's literally doing is he's going down there. I think he's got too
not-
many skills.
he's got a lot.
The healing skills. He's got the mind skills, the shadow daddy skills, and
Shadow
necromancy. I mean, homeboy's got way more than just your average run-of-the-mill vampire.
No, and he's like sensitive too because he actually cares about all these wraiths that are trying to cross into the other world or whatever, and like
He's
trying.
grumpy sunshine for sure. This
He
is very
is.
grumpy sunshine.
We know who his mom was?
no,
No, I keep waiting for that.
I was going to say, I was
Do you
like,
think it's
wait,
the
I
lady
don't
at the
think
end?
No. Oh.
the mom's got to be someone that is aiding his power. I feel like it cannot just be some nobody.
I thought that was a lover, but
Okay.
now I'm dissecting every conversation they had. Was it lovery or was it motherly?
So it could be read like depending on how you read it or how you hear it, depending on like how you listen to the book or whatever. So some of the things that this female had said, she said, "I knew you'd come back. That's why I always loved about you. You were always so very, very loyal." And that could come from a mother's standpoint. That can come from a lover's standpoint. It could come from wherever. And then he said, "I've come back so many times for you. Just let me try one more time." And then she said, "You never say my name anymore." But that could that be
That
a
could be
mom?
mom.
It could. And then
Look at you turning the motherfucking tables right now on us.
Kayla's
But
mind is blown.
because I'm like, okay, because at first I'm like, is this just another soul that, like a damn soul that's
Well-
he's trying to cross over because he says
Yeah.
that not everyone can go and it gets harder and harder for them. But they say that this person is not a wraith, that she's different, right?
No, she's something else. She's some kind of scary something.
So
Which could be why he got banished. If he did something that caused...
Specifically to there, I think. I think there's a reason it was there that he was banished.
okay, so here's the other part. So then that's why Elias was mad, right? After like the whole psych thing. No, after.
Yeah, he knew who she was.
Yeah, he's like, this is why we're down here is because you're doing it for her. And he's like pissed off. And then we finally see the touch her and die situation where he's like,
don't fucking touch her.
Don't touch her.
I do love a touch her and die situation. That really does do it for me.
But that was like the first time we saw. So, okay. So Asar, after he says do not touch her, it isn't her fault that she can't handle witnessing, or it's not her fault that you can't handle witnessing the results of your own actions. And I think that's just like his failure, not being able to like do all the things. And then Elias comes back. My actions? Don't pretend that you haven't followed your fair fucking unpleasant orders, warden. And don't pretend that I was the one who turned her into whatever the fuck that was. So I'm just like, who is she?
So I think if she's his mom, which I'm thinking that could definitely be the case, Elias killed her, probably on Egret or the king's orders. And then he's a necromancer, so he tried to bring her back, but he brought her back not correctly.
Because he
talks about how awry necromancy can go, and that it's, and I think Atraxas said like that it's an abomination, you know, like all of that. So yeah.
Well,
yeah,
and like the reason he's doing that then is probably to save her. I mean, which I think it is, regardless of if it's lover or mom. But mom makes more sense, I think, honestly, as far as like the loyalty to wanting to save her.
Mm-hmm. But if you read it a different way, you could read it a different way. I definitely read it more motherly.
I read it very like scorned lover.
I was going to say, I read it scorned lover also just because of the whole thing with Mische. Like, I felt like that was kind of the vibe they were giving off. But I do think the twist could then be that it is his mom.
Yeah,
like,
I think that is, because I've been thinking this whole time, like, God, I can't wait to find out who his mother is. But yeah, I like that. I think that's definitely the case.
Because, I mean, like, he could have been a mama's boy, right? And then, like, sometimes you just know who your kids are and you're just very, very loyal to your mom.
Well, he was found out later on that he was...
No, was he 8? Was he also 8?
He was 8, and that's when he got accepted as his bastard and not killed.
Because he already had so much power, right? He was trying to make a name for himself.
He saw something in him that made it to where he didn't kill him. So then he did everything he could to try to prove himself that he was, like, worthy to be alive. So before that, it was probably just him and his mom.
Yeah. Oh. Which makes it so much more sad. Because what did he do? He, like, hugged her when they ran off?
Yes, he embraced her. It wasn't just like a hug. Like, he was basically holding her there so they could all escape. And so it wasn't... And she was pissed. She was so angry.
Yeah, no, she was really mad. But, like, even the way... Now I'm analyzing all these conversations again. The way she talked about Mische, like, oh, you love her. I get why we think women scorned, but I could see that also being like, oh, I'm jealous that you love her. Why aren't you visiting me anymore?
But it wasn't even, looking back at it, there wasn't necessarily even jealousy. It was just like it was almost like I miss you.
Love her. She's pretty. I used to be pretty like you once and stuff like that. Yeah. See, what if it is the mom, you guys?
I think it is the mom.
I was gonna say, I think that makes complete sense.
I think that's a very good observation, Veronica.
Thank you. I
Look
tried.
at you.
Watch, it's like so way off.
It really is a woman scorned, and we've had this full like, oh my god, it's.
Well, if it ends up not being that, then it should have been.
Then
Honestly,
our story was way better in my mind.
Better.
I love it.
I know. Okay, so since we're talking about all the people, what did you guys think about Chandra, the one who Asar brought back to life, the other Dawn drinker, the 60-year-old, I think she was, or whatever?
I think there's a lot more to her than we are seeing. I think we're just at the tip of seeing who she really is, because there's a few little instances that kind of stick out to me. She comes across as, you know, she's human, as kind of unassuming, if you will.
Yeah.
Yet she's very powerful.
Very
with a different type of
faith,
a different type of magic. Like, she obviously was not blessed
No, but
as
she
an
definitely
acolyte
has,
because she wasn't a bride, but she still has very significant
she has the
power.
light, but she doesn't have the flame. Yeah.
Yes, and then that wraith vampire, because they talked about the wraith having things, that was like, I know you. So that makes me think that she was a vampire hunter and that she was one of the ones that was going out and doing persecutions.
Because that's what Mischa's sister also did, right?
Yes.
Yep. And so I think that that's actually what it is. And I think she was presented to Asar by Egret or something, because when Mische tries to go and save Asar from Elias stabbing him, Chandra's like, nope, let it be. Like, don't interfere. And she doesn't seem surprised. It seems like she was somewhat in on that happening.
Yeah.
She's very much
Interesting.
so like, no, like pulls her back, and he's like, no, let it happen. Don't go after him.
She does not seem surprised at all.
No.
Yeah, I agree with that.
With how the way that she like screams and cries at like everything else, she's just like, nope, and
She
pulls
was too
Mische and
normal
tries
for
to
that.
No, I mean, okay, in my mind, if I had two captors or whatever, people making me do things against my will, and then they start to fight, I'd be like, I'm gonna back up and let you guys do you, and I'm gonna just tiptoe
And
out.
I mean, if, he dies, like, they can go back up, so then she doesn't have to be in the underworld anymore. So, I mean.
well,
But
and
then
we
how'd
don't
they
know
find their
how,
way back?
we don't know at this point how she died.
That's what I'm curious about. What happened that made her die?
Egret or Elias could have killed her, and then was like, oh, you need more dawn drinkers to be able to do your mission. Here's
Yeah.
a body of one. You can just bring him back.
Because didn't he say, I might be really like.
She
way
was in
off.
the sanctum for a long time.
But didn't they say that one of them would not make it? Like one of the dawn drinkers would not make it. Like they needed two because something.
It was just in case.
Just in
because
case,
it's
okay.
dangerous
Got
to
it.
have a back. So just to have a backup, just in case something went
plan.
wrong.
I mean, you're right. She might have been like working with Egret a lot the whole time.
She's also really old for a human. Like something's been like.
Y'all, I could not picture her as an old woman in my brain.
I did not either.
I pictured her as like a young woman because she was so meek all of the time. Like
Yeah.
I pictured her almost like childlike.
Oh, I
Yeah.
pictured
Not
her
as an
in
old
her 40s, probably 40s, 50s. Like I didn't
Nah.
picture her. I
couldn't
definitely
picture her as
didn't
an older
picture her
woman.
like 80 the way that she's supposed to be, but I pictured her motherly.
I did not.
I pictured her like childlike because she's crying all the time. She's always praying. I'm like, man.
I didn't imagine her as a child. I definitely imagined her a little bit older, but not older than 30. I knew that she was older
Yes.
in body than Mische was. But everything else about her, yeah, she did seem very meek and scared all the time. Maybe it was because she just came back to life and she doesn't remember like all that other stuff. But I don't know. It was really hard for me. Again, a lot of these characters, I don't even know what Elias looks like. The only good thing I have in my brain is Lucy.
I want to know what Lucy looks like now.
Don't
But-
ruin it for me. I love how I picture her in my brain already.
But
And mind you, I don't think that'll get tainted. I've really stuck to it, I feel like, at this point.
I know. Do you think that Asar knew about Mische already, or did he look into her brain? Because he goes in, he's like, you were born here, you were 8 years old when you traveled to wherever you did, and you joined the order, and then you were a crusader, and then you did you journeyed to Obertrace when you were 19, and that's when you returned, and that was like 50 years ago, and this and this and this and this. Do you think he knew all that by looking in her brain because he's a shadow born, or do you think that there was already, like, he did research on her?
I feel like he did research on her personally. I just feel like he found out this woman, killed his brother, and he looked into who it was and their background.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. He could have definitely gone into her mind. But I don't know. He just, for some reason, he feels like he wouldn't do that very often. And like he wouldn't do that kind of intrusion because he's very careful and specific with when he does it. Like
He
And she's
definitely
aware of it a
pokes.
lot of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like impressed by her ability to block him out. So
But he's poking to train her.
Yes. But I don't know that he would have been able to get all of that just by poking.
I mean, whenever, because he can put her down. Like, he's definitely taken her out before. And I'm curious if that's maybe when he probably dug around a little bit, because I think even Atraxis tells her to, like, you need to keep your barriers up. And so she just tries to
maybe
slam
when
that stuff like that.
maybe when he initially healed her
Maybe.
in the dungeons.
Because there was this one time when, or not the one time, when they were traveling from the the Shadowborn Palace, to Mothrin, like, she was asking a bunch of questions, as she does, because she just talks a lot. And overshare, maybe even.
Same, girl.
And then all of a sudden she's like, if I go into this prison, I'm never going to get out. So then that's when she tries to attack him really fast, and he, like, evades her attack, and then he just, like, sleep. And then she just goes to sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if maybe that's when he...
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're right. I don't get the
reason,
vibe that he would do that either.
Yeah, I just don't feel... He feels like he maintains boundaries with her. Mm-hmm. And even that feels like a boundary crossing. Like, at that point, she was attacking him, so he was doing it for her own good, but I don't see him just randomly putting her to sleep or randomly going into her head.
Yeah, because otherwise he would have done it, like, and then just brought her there instead of had them traveling together in chains.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think he did research personally, but that could not be the case.
I mean, they obviously knew who she was because she killed the brother, and so I'm sure they had been looking for her for a long time. Okay, so there's 5 sanctums of the descent. There's body, breath, psyche, secrets, and soul, and we touched body, breath, and psyche, half of psyche, a lot of psyche in this first half of the book. I thought it was kind of cool how all of these things...
Yeah.
Have you looked at the map?
No. Girl, I'm not a
map's
map
pretty cool.
looker.
I'm not either. I'm like, there was a map?
I did not look at the map.
Kayla is a map looker, guys, though, so here we are like, wait, what?
I am a map, like, examiner.
Love a map. I didn't even realize there was a map.
Neither did I. Should I look at this map?
I'm
It
pulling
might
it
be
up.
helpful.
Okay.
It's a map of the underworld.
Anyways, while you're looking up all that stuff. So, like, the descent is where the dead go to shed their lives bit by bit to make it easier for the transition into the afterlife. And it's... I think Mothrin's been there for over 2,000 years. No, for a very long time. Like, way before vampires were a thing. The gods had made it. What did they make it for? I can't remember.
Mothrin,
Yeah.
body, breath.
Oh,
Psyche.
those are the roots. Oh.
Yep. And, like, Mothrin is here.
Uh-huh.
And goes all the way down. Ooh, look, the roots are broken at the bottom. Is that foreshadowing?
Is it? Because that's the end. Is
I was
that
going
the
to say
end?
they break at soul.
They break between secrets and soul. And and all there is at the down in the underworld is one tiny little tree.
Oh.
I have questions.
Kayla likes, I don't know if you guys know this, but Kayla likes to look into things.
Oh, that's
like her
the
superpower.
bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, I really should have looked at this more.
Yeah,
Now it
I
all
feel like
makes
that's
sense.
actually helpful for my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Now we know what it looks like. Aside
I'm
from
like,
bleeding
oh.
walls and, like, columns of bone that looks like
And
ribs.
giant fucking mushrooms. I was like, that's
I
interesting.
know. I'm like,
Because mushrooms are, like, decaying.
I know.
Like,
I
I
get
thought that was
it.
an interesting.
I am so curious what's going to happen between Secrets and Soul now.
I want to see a colored picture of all. Not that it would be
She,
many colors.
see, I think she had posted a colored picture.
Was it just red? Because that's
No.
What did you guys think of the wraiths in Mothrin?
like in general.
Okay, so, like, in the Sanctum of the Body, they were, like, angry. They still, like, I feel like that,
Yes.
to me in my brain, they look like angry zombies. I don't really know.
I was gonna say, I will say, I picture them zombie-esque in that, like, there's like if they have skin, it's decay. Like, and then
Yes.
as we progress, they're looking less skin, more just. But like, I got
Yeah,
that kind of in my brain.
So as I get past the sanctum of the body into like the breath and the psyche, I totally saw it like, do you remember Hercules? The cartoon, the Disney version, and they have like that pit of souls and they're just all like swirling. That's what I imagine them doing. And all their faces are all gaunt and they're just sad. And then they're like, as soon as they see life, they like want it so bad that they're like clinging to it and trying to like pull it down because they're hungry for it. So that's how I saw that part in my brain.
Yeah. No, I can picture that.
But in the sanctum of the body, I totally saw the guardians as like the giant like lion and serpent or whatever, or viper. And it's like they're like gently prodding like these tantrumy zombies. They're like, it's okay. And I see like this giant paw that's like, it's okay. Like, keep calm down. It's all right.
Run along.
Just little toddler zombies. Just like freaking out because they're so mad.
I kind of love that.
Oh my gosh.
Did you guys think he was the one who helped the guy along? The one that was...
Eamon?
Yeah. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm not even trying to say his name.
I don't know. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I didn't know. I didn't know that he did. He said that he did.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that that's what his job was also. I thought he was just a keeper of the gates, essentially, and trying to, like, basically put patches on the gates so that people can, whatever, cross or the wraiths wouldn't escape. But I did not think that he actually helped people cross over.
I did.
I thought
I just
was
thought
sweet,
that...
though, that he did.
Yeah, I just feel like he's so grumpy, guarded, tries to come off as like the badass that has this crazy reputation, you know? And whenever that's the case, they've got some secret, like...
Softy something.
agenda that they're doing in the background that no one knows about, you know? So...
Like trying to save some kids from being killed. Like that kind of...
Yes, exactly like that. Yeah. So I kind of figured it would be that way.
Do you guys think we're going to run into her sister as we continue down?
100%.
What level do you think she's going to be on?
Secrets.
Yeah, secrets are soul, because it's either her secrets of what she did to her sister and him, or it's going to be her losing her soul, or what she feels like is losing her soul.
I think it's going to come out. You might be right, Kayla. I think maybe she did kill her sister.
I think she did.
Yeah, sad.
Which is also why, like, she never tells Rain anything about her
No.
past, because all roads lead to what happened.
True.
Yes.
Do you think that she had like maybe temporary amnesia from all like the trauma that had happened, or do you think she's really just keeping it to herself because she does not want to examine it and talk about it because it is so tragic?
I think it's a mix of both. I think the trauma of it is she's also doing like a self-imposed amnesia, because that is very much so a part of it. But if she truly was digging deep, I think that she would remember it, but she's not trying to. But yeah, through the different sanctums, she's getting little glimpses here and there. And I don't know if that's because she's getting closer to them and closer to like their souls and whatnot. But that amnesia is kind of starting to wear off. And I'm wondering if he looked into her and researched into her, if he actually knows
More
what
about
happened, and if he's gonna bring it up at some point and like that's gonna come out. I don't know. I'm a little worried for what the end of this book is going to be like, because they did us so dirty with Rain between the first two books that I'm like, are they gonna make him something horrible?
I mean,
I don't know. I kind of think my whole he's gonna die and she's gonna have to go back down and get him herself thing might be.
Do you think she has to go back through Morthrin and try to like take him out? Or maybe will she become a necromancer also?
Maybe.
could be.
Because I don't think it's like a thing that you have. I think that it's something you learn how to do also, because they said it's a practice of it, because even humans know that you're not supposed to do that. And then that's why it's so forbidden that even like vampires don't mess with it, because it's like, no, you don't fuck with it kind of thing. So do you think?
Yeah, but I think you definitely would have to have the power to be able to do it.
Well, she can.
But she does find a lot of beauty in death, so I could see her being a necromancer.
Ooh, ooh, you guys. I'm kidding. Now I'm getting real excited. I love how you guys just pump me up. Speaking of pump me up,
God, can you imagine if she brought Rain and Aurea down there? They'd run into some fucking situations with some souls.
A lot of souls.
A lot of people down there that they would not want to see.
Where was the Phoenix again? Was that in the Breath one? Where, like, remember he was on fire, but he was supposed to just be...
The thing that was supposed to be dead, but wasn't.
Oh, the Songbird.
The Songbird, yeah, but they thought it was a Phoenix.
That was all the way at the top.
Because
that was one of the guardians.
Sad. He was so, like, she's like, I know this pain, because that's the pain I feel every time I use the power from Atraxus, and he's in pain.
Atraxus stole the guardian and imbued his power into him and is just, like, burning it alive all the time.
So sad.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah,
that.
That
Atraxus' dick. Mm-hmm. I'm standing by it.
You don't have to convince me of that one.
Yeah, I don't know, though. Do you think Alaris is going to come back?
No.
I think he will.
I
just don't know if he'll stay.
Yeah. I don't know that him or Nyaxia will stay. I feel like they will both eventually probably die.
Do you think they'll both die as lovers? Oh.
Maybe lovers. They're married.
Well, no, because he's dead.
I know, but, like, it's been so long. How do you think Nyaxia will actually respond if he gets reviven? Do you think it will be this beautiful love situation?
She loves him so much.
Okay.
And I love seeing their love story and how it happened. I like that he, like, the essence that he gave to Mothrin to hold all these things were visions, like, basically their love story of, like, when he first met. And then that's how they got the black obsidian branch that was through his heart that she threw at him. I don't know why she threw it at him, but she did. She seems a little crazy. Okay. I like that the second one was like the poppy petals, because she had put it in her mouth, and he was just like so entranced by her that he was like watching it over her lips, and he's like, God, I just really want to fucking taste those lips. And then he kissed her. I'm like, oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but we're getting like his perspective of that. That's why I'm like curious.
Yeah, but she seems obsessive.
She's crazy.
I know, but just because you're obsessed doesn't mean it's love.
Not that it could not be healthy.
She literally, after they murdered him, she went and fucking fucked up the entire White Pantheon because she was in so much despair. No, I think she loves him 100%. But, and I do think there will be a reunion between the two of them, and I think it'll be catastrophic. I don't know how long it will last, though. Yeah. I think that it could be that then
it's brief.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think you're right. I would love to actually see that happen because, you know, she's been yearning for him and grieving him for so long.
Yeah.
That.
Okay. No, because you said they can't kill each other. Because I was like, what if Atraxus kills Alaris and then Nyaxia kills Atraxus? Because then Atraxus could die because I want him dead.
They just can't kill each other.
I mean, if anyone's going to kill Atraxus, I think it's going to be Mische.
Yes.
I would love that.
I think it will be. It'll be kind of like
that
Aurea and Vincent. Like,
if she figures out a way to, like, make Alaris human, essentially,
then
maybe it'll be a thing where she can essentially do that to Atraxus, too. And she's going to realize how much he has damned her.
Yes,
and...
hopefully.
Take him out.
I do love that idea.
I know, but you guys, this is a 2-book.
I know, and we're not going to get all the answers on this one.
No, it's not going to be this
how long
one.
I'm going to have to wait.
Yeah, so we'll definitely.
Just came out.
This one will definitely end in a cliffhanger, for sure.
I'm depressed already. I'm preemptively depressed.
I'm so sorry. I can hold your hand later. More thoughts. I love this. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, like, could they be dual heirs just like Rain and Aurea? But probably not, because they don't have 2 different lines.
No, it's got to be like one or the other.
Ooh. So, okay. Sorry, we're talking about two lines. So then I started thinking about Bloodborne. So you know
Yes.
how Elias was like, do you know what's happening up there? The Bloodborne is taking over like some of the human territories and it's on this tiny island. Do you think that's where the next series is going to be? The next duology is going to like be in that island?
And maybe be a human and a vampire rather than vampire.
I keep thinking human vampire also potentially for that one after they said they were taking over the human.
Yeah.
But again, do you really think it's going to be fucking shithead?
I kind of do think it is going to be him, which means that we will have to see him in some capacity in the next book.
Septimus, are you talking about?
Yeah, because I mean, Mische was
could see
somewhat a part of, the first two books. I feel like whoever the next main characters are going to be introduced or somewhat talked about in these books also. Maybe not this one, but definitely the next one. Just to have it be like a lead in that makes sense, basically.
Oh, okay. So the psych one, when they're like, where they're, the biggest threat is their minds, and the thoughts can be manipulated against you and be used as bait. So this is the part that I'm going to need. For whatever reason, I can't remember what happened. I know it ended on a cliffhanger, but I can't remember. So I told Kayla, because she just finished this today.
Well, and I'm even like kind of struggling, and I don't know if it's just because it's psych and I don't know what was real and what wasn't, because she was having visions of when she was given to Atraxis, and then that vision of when they like laid together for the first time, it shifts into Asar.
Yes.
And it's much better.
So much better.
But then all of a sudden Asar is there.
Yeah, and he says, "Let me defile you, you dawn drinker."
So I was saying, Brie, I was saying this earlier. Were they both in their minds? Or were their minds both being controlled of like a hallucination, but it was really happening? Were the things really happening, or were they only happening in their minds?
Were they manipulated to do things in real life, or was it happening in their minds and just mind fucking them?
Because they went in to this red pool
together. Yeah, because she got stabbed. Yep.
Honestly, I was picturing it actually happening, but then it's like the trick of what's like, some of it's a play on what's happening in their brain, but I still think they're together.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they're in a vision, but their bodies are physically together.
They're pain.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Like, is this in their minds?
I think it's both.
Yeah, like the mind is painting a picture of it, but we're still doing the things to it.
I believe so, and I'm curious then what his vision of all of that was leading up to that moment.
I'm curious.
Well, they talk about her seeing someone familiar in the background of all of her visions. So I think he was there in all of her visions, just not
a participant at that point.
Yeah.
And then
so he might have been watching all of her visions, potentially. So he now has an intimate view into what her...
Yeah.
Do you think it's because he's Shadowborn and because he can see into people's minds, and that's why he was a part of the visions?
Well, and he's also more adept at being down there and protecting his psyche and all of that. But he's injured, so he's not going to be able to fully protect himself the way that he would normally.
Yeah, because he's gone down there several times, it sounds like. That...
I know, but she's his bait as much as he is hers. So...
I know.
So if she having a sex dream, you think he's not going to step into that? Please.
He's like, wait. No, fuck this guy.
Like,
hold, please. Let me get in on this.
Wait. Let's make this better.
No, but
let's
I
move
feel
him out of the way and put me in there.
Stop. That's hilarious.
I feel like when she realized that there's no way that this could be happening, and oh my gosh, we're bait for each other, that he kind of even was in the dream, in my mind, that he was like, oh shit, like...
Yeah, because he came out of it also at the same time when she said that. They were both like, oh yeah.
But do they actually get out at that point, or is it gonna kind of like meld into a new one and they're going to have to keep realizing.
Who knows?
I mean, I don't know.
Because
out.
I just can't imagine
It'd be
that's
great if
it.
we knew that, but we stopped reading at that point.
I know. But it felt too short to me. It's not done yet.
Oh, you want more? Is what you're saying?
Well, it's not even like them
The
having
banging
sex. I mean, yes.
or the psych?
You want more thigh grabbing and
No, did love that little. But I just don't think
Finger
we're
action.
done with psych yet because that was too quick.
No.
There's no way
No
that
way.
it's gonna
Well,
gotta
you
play
think-
out more.
Do you think Elias and Chandra are gonna follow them in to make sure that the job was finished?
No, they're out of there. I think they're gonna be like they're left for dead. Bye bye.
Yeah, Elias is out.
How the fuck are they gonna get back?
I think
They're not gonna know how to get back.
They just go up. I have no idea.
The tendrils.
But I mean,
tendrils.
they weren't thinking about, Elias wasn't thinking about that stuff anyway. Because if he was trying to get out and didn't think that he had a way out, then he wouldn't have stabbed Asar.
No, he literally says to Mische, "You're gonna be my way to get me out. Like you're gonna give me the way back."
Oh, because she's been working on the doors and stuff like that. Oh, but then since she's gone, I don't know. Maybe they'll get eaten by the soul eaters. Those things were scary as fuck
shucks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just don't think they're gonna die. I really don't. Like they're gonna continue to be
No.
a thorn in the side still.
Yeah.
We're not done
yeah.
with them. I just don't know what that looks like. Like could they not get out and so they're still gonna be there? Or
Well, maybe they'll just stay in one of the many rooms that Asar has made on each level to because he just made it a
poor
home
guy.
also. I thought that was crazy when he was being attacked by one of the doors that were breaking by the wraiths, and then like Lucy had brought him to a room that had a bathtub and threw him in there somehow.
Oh yeah.
And then she's like, "Get in!"
I know, and she's like, "What?"
And
Yeah.
she's like, okay, I'll get in the bath with him.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then it like strips the death off of them, basically.
Yeah. But I mean, just the fact that he made a room and had that already planned for all that stuff. I think that just shows how long
lot
he's
of
been
time
there.
down there.
Like,
Yeah.
50, did he say 50 years or 150 years? 150 years.
150.
That's a long ass time. I think
Yeah.
you could make many, many rooms. And again, he used to go, I feel like, between the levels a lot more frequently until
Yes.
it became too hard, which I'm very curious as to why it became so hard.
Well, they said it's because it's over 2,000 years old, and with things that are just that old, and if it's unkept, and you only have one keeper of all of it, I'm sure it starts to decay.
Yeah, but he himself was having a hard time going through the levels at that point. And I'm curious as to what... Like, was he just hanging out on level 1 for a long time then? Because he couldn't keep going down?
It's harder.
Was
I
he
know.
running into his mom all the time?
Well,
Question
like,
mark, mom.
do you remember the Panthers? They said, okay, let me find the Panther part. Because they were saying something to
yeah.
it. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers.
Many have fallen. Yeah, it's, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Continue
yeah.
If you want. Okay.
Yep. No, I'm right there with you already. Yeah. So it says, many have fallen at the hands of the traitor. Is that Nyaxia? I don't know who that is. Is that Nyaxia? Who's the traitor?
I mean, I feel like everyone in the
I was going to say, that could
White
be anyone.
Pantheon thinks that she's a traitor, but these are all vampires, so they're all children of Nyaxia.
No, but this is the Panthers, so they're not children's of right?
Oh, but this is Alaris's Panthers, so they're protecting his like piece of
Relic.
his soul or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know why they would think she's a traitor unless she did something.
So are they talking about Atroxus then?
Maybe
I could see
Atroxus.
that.
I think when I read it, I think I thought Atroxus.
Yeah, so it says many have fallen to the hands of the traitor. The decay spreads. The guardians wither. He tried to banish us too, but we still stand thousands of years and we protect our charge. So I'm just like,
Yeah, I think that's Atroxus he's talking about, because Atroxus is the one that went after the guardians too.
do you think it's decaying because Alaris is not there? Because their god is no longer there, so that doesn't have the power.
Which is then
Yes.
why, yeah,
But also now Atroxus has planted a bunch of his power down there around these relics, that maybe that is interfering with the relics' power of keeping it going and keeping Alaris's power.
maybe
relevant.
Because even
and
though
that's why it's harder to get through.
Yeah, because even though Nyaxia took over Alaris's realm, obviously she doesn't have the same power of death, right? Like
She's not down there.
No, she's not doing any of that stuff and like maintaining any of it. So maybe that's why everything is falling apart and why things are just getting harder, because like the power isn't as strong as it once was, and so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're going to get questions answered in this next book, but not enough of them. And then there's going to be more questions for sure.
Yes, I do think the next half is going to answer some of the questions we have. But yes, we are going to be left on the cliffhanger, and there's going to be many more questions that we're going to discuss in the next podcast, where we go, all right, now what do we think?
Do you think that we will be slow burning through the rest of this book? You think?
I don't know. I kind of think this is going to open up an opportunity for more interactions, unless like they have a big betrayal situation like Rain and Aurea did, where they get set back again.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I want to know what's happening on the above part with Egret.
Yes. I know. It'll be very interesting to see. You know, honestly, I think that's going to be the end of this book, is they're going to make it up and realize what the hell has happened up here, because a lot of shit, I think, will have gone down while they've been under there.
Well, and she'll probably, like, Elias will get back and be like, oh, he's dead. I totally killed him. And so she'll probably be setting up her kingdom.
Well, no, she knows that
She would know, because she wouldn't have the air mark.
Yeah.
I know, but...
Unless she then goes hunting everyone to see if anyone else has it.
Well, or... I don't know. She could fake it somehow. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think that, I mean, I hope that we make it back up. I think
we will.
I feel like 2 more sanctums in the rest of this book is doable, and I think they make their way back up to try to... Wait, do you think that they'll revive Alaris at the end of this book?
I don't know if they will.
I want to say no. They have to leave something for the next book, right?
Yeah. I feel like no.
Do you think that, because I don't know where all the relics are right now, who's holding the relics when they're down in Psyche? It's got to be...
I thought he was.
Asar, right?
He was.
Okay.
Asar is, but he goes and puts them back in Morthrin. Like, so I think they're all in the same place in Morthrin.
Do you think that Elias will get them and then try to use them like how the Bloodborne did? Because he was talking about that.
The fact that he was talking about it...
Yeah.
Definitely could.
I don't know. There's a lot of tragic things that I feel like could happen, and I don't know. I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see the chaos.
Yeah, no, I think we are, again, finally getting to the
cusp
here we go!
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with the last book. It was like from 50% on, you're just like, I can't wrap my head around everything that's happening.
I agree. I feel like she really was like, and here we go.
Yeah.
Literally, I should probably guess like, and this is 50%. Let's go.
I feel like he's got some kind of ulterior motive with Nyaxia. He's not telling her the full truth of why he's actually doing this. He gets very evasive and weird when their conversation is brought up.
Yeah.
So there's something he's hiding still.
Well, sure. Yeah. And even when he talks to the Panthers, because the Panthers like, why should I'm not going to let you have this relic or whatever. And they can sense like the truth in people. And so when Mische was trying to like, well, I'm working with so-and-so. I'm trying to bring back whoever. And they're like, nope, you're not telling the whole truth. And then so he comes in and he tells his truth. And they're like, we believe you, but do you really think that you can save all these millions of people? Like, do you think that you can do what, like, no mortal can? And so, I don't know.
Do you guys think his scarring is associated when he helps someone, like, move on? Like, he takes a bit of that death with him or something? Because he makes it sound like he can't do it very often when him and Mische end up talking about it.
Yeah.
I just
Could
thought
be.
he couldn't do it very often because it's hard to do.
I mean, I do think it's also hard to do, but I wonder if it also leaves a mark on him.
be.
Like
It's painful for him also.
every death that he helps move on, like he has to take a part of their death or something, essentially. Like, I don't know what that exact
maybe that's a good way to
entails,
think of it. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Because it seems like he used to do it more often, and he's very sparing with it now. And yes, it could very well be because it's hard and the world down there is just going to shit.
Yeah.
So it's just harder in that way. Or is it because he knows it fucks him up every time?
Maybe. I don't know. I really am curious where the scars come from.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so if that's the reason, that sucks. That they
Yeah, but
leave
it would
their
be
mark.
very similar in that, like, he's like, okay, like, sometimes it outweighs, like, I'd rather take a mark and, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
do
sometimes
this
it's worth
than-
it.
No.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like a lot of movies, whenever they have people who like are natural miracle healers, they take the sickness within them too. And so I mean, maybe that could be a good like story point too. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where it came from. But yeah.
I just was wondering, like, I could see that being what could have caused it. Because it almost feels like, yes, it's scarring, but almost, like, the way it's described also felt very decaying to me a little bit. So I could just see that being something.
Yeah.
And again, he lives in, like, a world of death, so it could literally be anything. But, like, what's to stop it then from continuing? Like, that's where I'm like,
Yeah.
Do you think
Well,
he
maybe
lost
it's every
his-
time he passes another level, and every time he does that, it gets worse and worse and worse, and that's why he's not going
Yeah, and
down or
that's why
going
he
through
hasn't going
levels
down
anymore.
levels either.
Because it's getting, his sickness in that is getting so severe.
honestly, I just felt like he was hiding from his maybe mom.
What about okay? So you know
Yeah.
he's got an eyeball missing, right? Do
Yeah.
you think his eyeball is just missing because Alaris has the eye on all his doors? Do you think that has some correlation or anything? Like he's also the seer or whatever. I don't know. Because there's always an eye on all the doors.
Maybe.
And why is his eye glowing?
I was gonna say, I definitely think there's something to that still that we're gonna find out. I really have a lot of questions about him.
Yeah.
Honestly, he feels like Mische to me now, where I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking, bro? What happened to you? Like, I need more answers about
Yeah.
who you are, because I like you, but like you're a big question mark in my brain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. They've been down there for a very long time because just to go between one level and the other, it took like 1 to 2 weeks, and so now
Well,
they're
and
on
does
the third level.
time pass the same? Like, I do wonder that also.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, some things again. Obviously, not all the things, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for this next one. We gotta get off so I can read it.
I know, right?
Perfect. All right, you guys, that's it for today. We'll be releasing the next podcast 2 weeks from today, January 3rd. We will be discussing the last half of the Songbird and the Heart of Stone, written by Carissa Broadbent. Also, if you like what you hear, then please share it with your friends. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all major streaming platforms. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, book besties. Bye.
Bye.